Ever feel like the future's right around the corner, just like creeping up on us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, get this, Nvidia, the company that, makes those crazy powerful graphics cards, the things that like make our games look awesome.
Right.
They're making a huge bet on robots.
Yes, pretty wild, right? I mean, you think of Nvidia, you think GPUs, you think
Yeah.
gaming, and now they're jumping into like the world of, robots and AI.
AI. Yeah.
It's a big shift.
It's a huge shift. And you know what else is wild?
What's that?
It is a really, really competitive landscape right
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
So you've got like AMD, right?
All right.
Snapping at their heels when it comes to chips. And then you got the big guys.
The 800-pound gorillas in the room.
Yeah, the 800-pound gorillas. You got Amazon, you got Microsoft, you got Google.
All in on AI.
All in on AI.
Yeah.
So why is Nvidia, deciding to jump into robots?
Yeah.
Is this a brilliant move? Are they seeing something that we're not? Is this like going to be the next big thing, or is this like a really risky gamble?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to try to untack today.
That's what we're diving into today in our deep dive, so to speak, correct?
Exactly. Our deep dive into NVIDIA's robotics gamble.
Okay, so first things first.
Yeah.
Nvidia isn't just like making chips for robots.
No.
They're going way bigger. They're building like this whole ecosystem.
A whole shebang.
Yeah, so like
Everything but the kitchen sink.
they want to be like the one-stop shop.
Yeah.
For everything that you could possibly need when you're talking about robots. So
Yeah.
hardware, software platforms for simulation,
Mm-hmm.
all driven by, you guessed it, AI.
Yeah. Their bread and butter.
AI, their bread and butter.
And it's interesting. They're not just doing this in a vacuum. They're partnering up with some pretty interesting startups, too.
Like who?
Well, one that really caught my eye is Figure AI.
Figure AI. Okay, I've heard of them, I think.
Yeah, so they're focused on developing humanoid robots, which seems to be, a key piece of NVIDIA's puzzle here.
So like C-3PO and R2-D2, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Well, maybe not quite that advanced yet, but that's the direction they're heading in.
Got it. Okay, so humanoid robots, big part of this vision, and they're not messing around.
No, they're not.
They're about to launch a new computer. It's called Jetson Thor.
I love the name.
I love the name too, and it's designed specifically to be the brains of these humanoid robots.
Like the control center.
Yeah, the control center. So we're talking like a crazy, powerful system, compact, think like, size of a textbook.
Wow.
And it's set to come out in the first half of 2025.
So just around the corner.
Just around the corner.
Exciting times.
Okay, so I have a question, though.
Shoot.
It seems like it'd be really hard to teach a robot to, like, function in the real world.
Oh, it's incredibly complex.
Right, like 1 minute it's in a simulation.
In a nice, clean, predictable environment.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next minute it has to deal with like...
Spilled coffee.
Yeah, spilled coffee, uneven sidewalks, kids leaving toys everywhere.
The chaos of the real world.
The chaos. How do they make that leap?
Yeah, that's the big hurdle right there. That's what they call the sim-to-real gap.
Sim-to-real gap.
Yeah, it's a catchy name. It's basically, it's one thing to teach a robot how to walk in a virtual world where everything's perfect.
Right.
It's a whole other ball game to get it to navigate, the real world with all its unpredictability.
So how are they overcoming that then?
Well, that's where the really exciting advancements in AI come in, especially in areas like generative AI models and, these incredibly detailed simulations they're building.
So how does that actually, like, change the game?
Okay, so let me give you a concrete example.
Yeah.
Imagine you're trying to teach a robot to pick up a specific object, right?
Okay, like a ball.
Sure, like a ball. In the past, you would have had to program it with very specific instructions for every possible scenario.
If the ball is to the left, do this.
Yeah,
if the ball is to the right, do that.
Exactly. It was very rigid, very rule-based. Now, with generative AI, you can expose that robot to thousands, even millions of variations of that ball in a simulation.
Wow.
The AI learns to recognize and grasp that ball regardless of its position, the lighting surrounding clutter, you name it.
So it's like it learns by experience.
In a way, yes. It's like it's building up this intuition through massive amounts of simulated experience.
That's really cool.
And that makes the transition to the real world much smoother because it's already encountered so many possibilities.
So it's not just following a set of rules, it's like actually learning and adapting.
Exactly. It's a much more flexible and robust approach.
Okay, so that makes sense. But let's talk like the business side of things for a minute.
Okay.
Is the robotics market even big enough to like justify this kind of investment from Nvidia?
Right.
Can they actually like carve out a big chunk of that market? and achieve the growth they're looking for?
Well, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, the industrial robotics market is already pretty substantial. Over 500,000 robots were installed in factories just last year.
That's a lot of robots.
It is, and there's always a but.
There's a but.
It's a crowded market, right? You've got established players like ABB Fanuc.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. They hold significant market share.
Okay.
And then you've got, the tech giants like Google,
Right.
who are also pouring tons of money into robotics research and development.
So it's not going to be easy for Nvidia.
Not at all. They're facing some stiff competition.
They're facing an uphill battle.
But you have to remember, Nvidia does have some pretty unique advantages.
Like what?
Well, their expertise in AI is unparalleled.
Right.
And their approach of building this entire ecosystem, it
Right.
gives them a lot of leverage. They're betting that the future of robotics is going to be deeply intertwined with AI.
Mm-hmm.
And they're positioning themselves to be the leader in that space.
It's kind of like a land grab almost.
Yeah, you could say that they're staking their claim early on.
Okay, so let's bring it all home.
Let's do it.
We've got Nvidia, a company that completely revolutionized computer graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Taking this huge leap into robotics. And it's all fueled by their cutting edge AI development.
Yeah, and it's not just any robotics. They're betting big on humanoid robots.
Right.
Which is, a whole other level of complexity and ambition.
And a whole other level of sci-fi wow factor.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
This is like the stuff of movies coming to life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So they're basically betting on a future where AI is seamlessly integrated into the physical world.
And that's a future with massive potential, but also a lot of unknowns.
So is this move by Nvidia brilliant, or is it too much too soon?
I think that's the big question.
Yeah.
Only time will tell how this all plays out.
Only time will tell.
But one thing is for sure, this is a pivotal moment in the evolution of both robotics and AI.
It really makes you think, what is the future going to look like?
Yeah, what's the world going to be like in 10, 20 years?
Yeah. So for all of you listening out there,
Yeah.
what do you think? Do you think we're going to see, humanoid robots just walking around?
Like in our everyday lives.
Yeah, in our everyday lives.
Going to the grocery store with us.
Going to get coffee with us in our lifetime.
It's a crazy thought.
And what other industries could be totally transformed by these, these really sophisticated machines?
Mm-hmm.
Something to think about.
Definitely something to ponder.
Yeah. And as always, stay curious.
Stay curious.
Keep exploring these wild developments in tech and AI.
Absolutely. The future is full of surprises.
The future is full of surprises.
That's for sure.
That's for sure. All right. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.